play. Maloney to Lefkowitz. Bromwell to Arnoli. This is Maloney on the high post. Good pass inside to Lefkowitz. Oh, what a shot by Lefkowitz and a great pass by Maloney.
Real good bounce pass in there. Good credit to Bruce right there. Lefkowitz of getting good position on Bedford down deep. Had him right on his hip.
15 times the lead has changed hands, and Penn leads it right now, 39-38. 11:40 to go in the game. Andre Turner.
Turner, that shot's going to be there. I think he can take it whenever he wants to. He was 3 for 6 in the first half. 3 for 7, rather.
He has 12 points and leads Memphis State in scoring, 40-39.
Good job there by Penn, again, of handling the pressure.
Loose ball, and Bromwell has it taken away by Askew.
Good anticipation by Askew there. Seeing the passing lane, he cut right in between, anticipating the pass. He got it, made the steal.
Penn getting ready to put 3 men in the ball game. They're getting ready to send Racine and Elsie and Bernstein back in the ball game. Baskerville home shot. His first basket of the second half. And now Memphis State is up by 3, 42-39. This is Arnoli working against Andre Turner. Getting close to the 10-minute mark.
And I think in this half starting out here, Turner putting more pressure outside on the point guard again.
Lefkowitz lost the ball. It will belong to Memphis State. Finally rolls out of bounds off of the Penn Quakers. We've had 17 lead changes in this ball game, and it's been a matter of turnovers. Penn has turned it over 4 times here in the second half. Memphis State only once.
And that's the key right here now, as Memphis State has got back into the 3-point lead, had been the turnovers. And Memphis State's been able to convert it. You see Turner there waving his teammates out. He says, I'll take Arnoli one-on-one.
Tigers trying to add to a 3-point lead now, getting close to the 10-minute mark in the second half.
Now we've got Penn in a man-for-man defense, I think, for the first time.
As they made those 3 substitutions that we mentioned a moment ago, Bernstein, Elsie, and Racine back in the ball game, and the shot by Bedford is good. The basket counts. So Bedford has come alive with 6 points here in the second half.
Well, this frees up with a man-for-man defense, frees Bedford up inside and not get the help. They had 2 and 3 people around him against the zone, and you see a good pass. Gee, there was a good pass. He led Bedford. Bedford did a good job of stepping out to receive it, and then up in the basket, and a chance now as we come back for the 3-point.
44-39 is our score, with Memphis State leading Penn with 10 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in what has been a rip-roar of a ball game. 17 times the lead has changed hands. It was a 1-point lead at halftime for Memphis State. And William Bedford, their 7-foot sophomore, has just struck the first free throw that Memphis State has made today. He has 7 points, and the Tigers are 1 out of 4 at the line and lead by 6, with Keith Lee on the bench with 4 fouls. And now Penn, I would think, Gary, almost has to get a bucket here. We have 10 minutes left to play in the ball game, and they're down by 6. This, I believe, is Memphis State's biggest lead so far.
I think that's right, and now Memphis State goes to the zone. Dana Kirk Club went out and did what they had to do, played good, tough defense, caused some turnovers, and now Craig Littlepage is going to take a timeout as they're going to look at how to attack the zone that Memphis State has gone to.
Well, we're under 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 49 seconds to play. With a timeout, it's 45-39 Memphis State. Champions from Penn, 45-39. The winner of this game will play the winner of the Alabama-Birmingham-Michigan State game on Sunday afternoon to see who goes on to Dallas in the Midwest Regionals. And Craig Littlepage now, I would imagine, is having to come up with some of his most important strategy of the ball game.
Well, I think he wanted to settle his kids down. They came back and looked at a different defense by Memphis State, the zone. Immediately he got a timeout. It was a good timeout, so he could set it up and talk with his kids. There's a back over and back as he jumped from front court, caught the ball in midair before he got down.
Well, a very big mistake for Penn. Watch how he moves into the backcourt.
Here's the kick out. Here's the lob pass. He thinks he has to stay. He could have gone to the other side and fielded the ball, but he made a mental mistake right there. Jumped, caught the ball in midair, and it was a good call.
So Memphis State now with a chance to up its lead. It is now 6 with 9:41 to go, leading 45-39. The field goal percentages, well, both teams shooting very well right now, and Andre Turner gets his 4th basket of the second half. He's got 14, and Memphis State now is up by 8.
Well, he continues to take that shot, and that's exactly what he has to do. It's been his shooting and his defense along with Askew that's really turned this ball game for Memphis State.
Phil Pitts took the ball to the basket, but was hammered, I believe, by William Bedford. And if so, that is Bedford's 2nd foul and number 6 against Memphis State.
Well, and the key for Memphis State, here we come. Pitts taking it down all the way, challenged the big guy, takes away from him, and I think Bedford missed him on the arm, but hit him on the head as he went by, and Pitts goes to the line for 2. And what I was going to say, Frank, is that Memphis State has come back here now with an 8-point lead, and they've got it with the All-American Keith Lee sitting down, so that's really a plus for the Tigers.
Pitts, 31 out of 50 on the year. That is the first free throw of the day by Pitts. Penn has shot their free throws well. They're 8 out of 10 at this point. 9 out of 11. A couple of big free throws by the Camden, New Jersey freshman Phil Pitts. 47-41. Loose ball knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Memphis State.
Good save. I think it was from Racine. You see the clock down your lower right-hand side. 9:14 to play. But Racine hustling back. They had a 3-on-2 situation there. He made a good kick out.
Andre Turner, as Penn goes back in their zone on the inbounds play.
You know, they went man for man, and right away they went inside to Bedford. He got the 3-point play. They now come back to the zone. They're probably going to check to see if Memphis State will play with it.
Well, Dwight Boyd sinks his 2nd basket from outside, and suddenly the Tigers are up by 8 again with 8:55 remaining. 49-41.
Well, I guess at this time of the year, freshmen aren't freshmen any longer, as Boyd...
Elsie ran the ball down but couldn't stop himself and goes out of bounds. Another turnover.
Seemingly Penn losing a little bit poise against this pressure right now. Elsie chasing it down is good. Oh, steps on the line right there. Barely on the white.
Well, that was the 5th turnover of the second half against Penn. That is 10 overall against Penn. Hey, there may be the first big upset of the tournament. Navy beats LSU and doesn't just beat them, but buries them by 23.
I forget their kid's name. Navy, a 6'11" center that's thinking about maybe possibly going to LSU.
Robinson. Andre Turner, Askew, and now Memphis State is really starting to pull away. They lead it by 10. 8:24 to go. Keith Lee has played only 1 minute of the second half before he picked up his 4th foul. He had 8 first-half points.
When it's been the defensive pressure, it's finally gotten to Penn. It caused the turnovers, and it's also got Memphis State in their offense. I think they're moving quicker at both ends of the floor right now. They drop back into that zone.
Winner of this game plays the winner of the UAB Michigan State game, which will be played here later this afternoon. That game would come up on Sunday. Racine, Bromwell from 21 feet. Bromwell drops it home. That is his 16th point of the day.
There's a look at Keith Lee, 8 points. Had them all in the first half. Metro Player of the Year. Consensus All-American. Everything, but he's sitting on the bench with 4 fouls.
Right. 7.5 minutes to go. 51-43, 51-43. Bedford tips it, keeps it alive. Askew comes down with a loose ball. Well, Dana Kirk has not relaxed completely on the bench, but he looks a little bit better. Bedford now has a total of 9 points, all in the second half. He did not score in the first 20 minutes of play.
And he's finally come to life. A good pass in there by Askew. Incidentally, was made the all-freshman team in the Metro Conference.
Well, let's see what's going on out west. Nevada Reno, Sonny Allen's ball club, leading North Carolina State, the champions of it all 2 years ago, 16-15 in the first half.
Boyd almost with another steal.
Carl Racine, who really held this ball club together in its first 7 games after they lost 7, brought them back to win the Ivy League championship. Elsie with a follow shot.
Boy, Elsie lost it right there. Was intimidated by the size, ended up couldn't get. I think he was trying to pass, couldn't find anybody.
Boyd inside to Askew. Fine assist from Dwight Boyd to Vincent Askew. One freshman to another.
Racine right there, the senior, holding up his hand as they say, slow down, take your time, even though we're 12 down. And I think it was a good job by him as that captain trying to get some balance back to this ball club.
55-43. Elsie off the mark, rebounded by Askew. It's all going Memphis State's way right now. Loose ball picked up by Bromwell. But now the clock becomes Memphis State's friend. It is down to 6 minutes with a 12-point lead for the Tigers. Racine rebounded by Baskerville Holmes. And the transition game for Memphis State has been stupendous.
Also, their rebounding. They've been doing a better job off the defensive boards, limiting Penn for the most part to one shot in the first half. In the early going particularly, it was Lefkowitz who was getting inside on the offensive board.
Andre Turner with a pass over to Boyd. Now they're going to put it out with 5.5 minutes to go. Keith Lee clapping over on the Memphis State bench, sitting there with 4 fouls.
Racine comes out to extend.
Elsie has picked up the foul inside. There's the All-American from West Memphis, Arkansas, Keith Lee.
Well, Keith Lee got enough points today, we mentioned before, to set the all-time Metro Conference scoring record. He surpassed Daryl Griffith.
Neil Bernstein is back in the ball game, but he's playing with a burden of 4 fouls as Bruce Lefkowitz gets a rest. That foul a moment ago was attributed to Chris Elsie, his first.
Good look at Dana Kirk. They tell me he's the most popular man in Memphis, voted Memphis' #1 celebrity. Having won 27 games, the most in the team's history, I can see why.
Baskerville Holmes missing the free throw, rebounded by Pitts.
Well, that Pitts can get up, only 6'4".
Well, we saw him block a shot in the first half. It was called goaltending that was pretty impressive. Got up and blocked one, I believe, by the 7-footer.
Well, we got John Wilfong in the ball game for Memphis State.
Elsie shooting and missing, and Bedford, the 7-footer, gets the rebound.
Wilfong, that I mentioned as an Uncle Win, that played at Memphis State, one of their all-time players, and also had a dad that played back there in the 60s.
Gene Wilfong, wasn't it?
I think it's Gene.
Andre Turner, boy, did he square up nicely for that shot. You knew it was going to go down.
Well, that's the play that had to be made to open up things, and he has done it along with their defense. His quick hands caused some steals, and I hate to say it with 4:32, but I think this ball game is going to be pretty much over right now. Memphis State's got it well in hand.
Turner has scored 10 points in the second half. Baskerville Holmes is fouled by Chris Elsie.
We haven't said so much. There's Chris Elsie coming off an injury, a sprain, missed a month. Great shooter outside. About Baskerville Holmes, but quietly he's been doing a job and has probably had his best season for Memphis State. He doubled almost all his figures this year, Frank. He went from a 5.2 average to 10+, 45% field goal shooting to 55+. And imagine this is one where I think it really shows up. 58% free throw shooting to 73%. As you see him on the line now.
Baskerville Holmes, one of the very great names in college basketball. And that is the second free throw made all day by Memphis State.
Great jumper. Holds, I guess, the Tennessee high school high jump record at an even 7 feet.
They said despite the fact that he had awful technique and didn't get to practice very often, he still was a 7-foot high jumper. Well, Penn now down by 59-43 as the nation's #5 team has really started to turn it on, despite the fact that Keith Lee has played only 21 minutes of this game. Pitts inside, Bedford with the rebound, and Pitts draws the foul. So Penn is getting a little bit frustrated now.
I see, it looked to me like maybe Bedford got a piece of the shot as they come in, goes in there. Yeah, and see that ball is just tipped enough. It still almost went down. Look at the reach of Bedford there as he brings that ball back to him. Here's another look. Pitts goes inside. You can see Bedford just hit that ball up just enough to take it off course, and then a great rebound by him. Good hands.
There is Phil Pitts, his third personal foul. Well, Gary, despite the fact that these players probably don't even think about this, a team that drops out in the opening round now of the NCAA receives $141,600. That's more than UCLA got for winning the national title 10 years ago. So a team that is defeated in the first round still receives more than $141,000 in the NCAA playoffs.
Bedford has really come alive, excuse me, Frank, in the second half. He's really done a job after Lee had to sit down.
It is now 61-43, and all the Bedford points, all 11 have come here in the second half. We've got a timeout with 3:38 remaining to play with the score now 61-43 in favor of Memphis State. Well, they say the cream rises to the top, and it has here in the second half, as the number 5 team in the country with a record of 27-3 has gone out in front by a 61-43 margin and made this fella's day a whole lot easier.
He's a little bit more relaxed right now than he was 6-7 minutes ago.
Penn State has hit 29 out of 50 shots, 58% so far this afternoon, and they have out-rebounded Penn by 10.
Well, the cream rises, but you really have to credit this Penn ball club and Coach Craig Littlepage for doing an excellent job. I think maybe they might have gotten a little tired fighting those big people inside, but they've played an excellent basketball game up to here, to the point where the defensive pressure at Memphis State finally got to them, and they committed some turnovers, and the ball game got out of hand.
Well, let's see. Memphis State has put Ricky McCoy, number 11, in the lineup now. So he, along with Will Fong, and also in the game for the first time, is number 42, Dwayne Bailey. So some of the subs getting a part of the action here this afternoon. Will Fong. Ball pulled down by Dwayne Bailey. And Andre Turner loses it to Bromwell. And this will be an easy one for Pitts. Oh, a little spectacular.
Good pass by Bromwell. Pitts says, well, we're going to get beat. Might as well go out in high style.
And we've got a charging foul on Andre Turner. That is his fourth. Well, I don't guess we're going to see Keith Lee anymore this afternoon. He fouled out, picked up his fourth foul with 18 or 19 minutes left to play in the ball game. But at this point, it wouldn't be reasonable for him to come back and maybe risk an injury or something, huh?
I'm sure they won't. With 2:40 to play, I don't think there's much sense in it. Good hands by Wilfong, makes the strip and the steal. Got a wingman open. McCoy misses it.
Turner knew that he had missed that shot. He started after it the minute he let it fly. And I believe they got a foul called on,
I think on Bailey.
Dwayne Bailey, the 6'9", 220-pound freshman. Well, you know, Gary, it's not surprising to find Penn at this level of play, because Pennsylvania has won the Ivy League championship in 11 of the last 16 years. They have 25 league championships overall, and the only team in the league to hold a series record advantage over every one of its Ivy League foes.
Well, it was a young ball club, and as we said, it was a team that came on. Their record wasn't indicative of their talent and ability, because they had 3 key injuries all during the year. Not to just miss a game or two, but to miss 4, 5, 6, or a month's play out of a couple of the guys. So they were playing their best at the end of the season. There's going to be Bedford with a foul.
Well, Bedford has picked up his third, and now coming in the ball game for Penn is Chris Barillo, a 6'6", 195-pound junior out of Denver, Colorado, as Bedford has picked up his third.
What a job he's done here in the second half, though, Bedford. Second-team all-conference player this year and scoreless in the first half, but Bedford really came on strong.
You know what? If Keith Lee does not come back in this ball game and does not score another point, that will break a string, I believe, Gary, of 29 straight double-figure ball games for him. He had 8 points in the first half before picking up that fourth foul. Racine missing the free throw.
Talking about Keith Lee, is the first player from Memphis State to average over 20 points a game since Larry Finch did it in 1970. Of course, Larry Finch is assistant coach with Memphis State now.
Only 2 minutes to go, 61-47. And we have a foul called on Chris Barillo.
Barillo saying, excuse me, I didn't mean to get you.
I don't think that's what he said. I don't think you think that's what he said either. Keith Lee is only the 43rd player in NCAA history to score more than 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds in a career. Bruce Lefkowitz back in the ballgame now for Penn. Anthony Arnoli sits down, and so does Chris Barillo, and William Benford, a 7-foot, 220-pound sophomore from the city of Memphis.
Well, you note on Bedford was he's been an up-and-down player, but he'd been up lately. Well, the first half he was down, but the second half he really came up.
He has scored all 11 of his points here in the second 20 minutes of play. 61-47, Memphis State. Captain Carl Racine, short, taken down out of the air by Dwayne Bailey. And the foul is called on Phil Pitts, his fourth.
Well, and the Quakers now gambling every time the ball goes up. And if they don't make it, they're trying to reach and grab, get a steal. If they don't, commit a foul and put Memphis State on the line.
Only 1:45 to go. The winner of this one, which appears to be Memphis State, will play again on Sunday afternoon against the winner of the University of Alabama Birmingham, the UAB Blazers, going up against Michigan State in the second game here this afternoon. Bailey makes one of the very few free throws made all afternoon by the Tigers. They have hit only 4 out of 9 free throws. And now in the game, number 10, Johnny Wilson, the sophomore from Somerdale, New Jersey, as Bailey will have a second free throw. 62-47, Memphis State. 63-47. There's the All-American on the bench who will have his 29-game double-figure scheme broken by scoring 8 here this afternoon. Played only 20 minutes. Picked up his 4th foul in the first minute of the second half. Elsie missing. Phil Pitts with a follow shot. Well, Penn is going to call for a timeout with 1:29 remaining to play in the ball game. With our score, Memphis State 63 and Penn 49. Only 89 seconds remain to play in this NCAA Midwest Regional, with the Memphis State Tigers up by a score of 63-49 and with the ball. That's John Wilfong handling the ball right now against John Wilson.
Penn trying to double up a trap there whenever the man of the ball turns his head.
The shot was blocked. The shot by Memphis State's David Jensen blocked. Cromwell shooting and missing, and put back up and in very, very nicely by Scott Masholi.
These Penn Quakers not quitting as they're playing the game to the hilt here, pressing.
63-51, and Johnny Wilson has just picked up his foul. Well, for the Penn Quakers, they'll wind up the year 13-14, but after losing their first 7 games of the year, that's still quite an accomplishment. Well, North Carolina State now has taken the lead over Nevada Reno by 6 in the first half in the West Regional.
Well, as we look at a lot of substitutes in the ball game right now, Wilfong makes the free throw. I think it's kind of nice with the game out of reach by both clubs. Both coaches have been able to get players in, and I know that's going to be a thrill for those kids to say they've been in the NCAA tournament.
The score is 64-51 with Memphis State out in front of Pennsylvania with only 48 seconds to play here at Hofheinz Pavilion in Houston. And there is a great shot by Scott Masholi, who just rolled it in for the Quakers and cut it down to 11 with 39 seconds remaining.
Masholi with 2 baskets, I think, here as he come off the bench.
This is David Jensen with the ball for Memphis State. Keith Lee, the All-American from Memphis State, has been on the bench for all but 1 minute of the second half when he picked up his 4th foul. His ball club was behind when he left, but with a great second half performance by Andre Turner and William Bedford, the 7-foot center, the Memphis State Tigers lead it now 64-53.
And the freshman Vincent Askew had a play in there when Memphis State come from behind. He had a couple of steals when Memphis State was putting good defensive pressure on and let him come from behind.
There is the All-American who will have a 29-game scheme of double figures broken by scoring 8 here this afternoon before he went to the bench with his 4th foul. Ricky McCoy getting 1 of 2. Uh-oh, look out. Thought we were going to have a basketball in our face. 65-53, 12-point lead with 27 seconds to go. It'll be inbounded here by Willie Beckton right here in front of us. And Beckton threw it over the head of David Jensen, and so it'll belong to Penn on the turnover, and Penn has just about put everybody on their bench in the ball game also. Long outside shot by Masholi, who has come off the bench to score 3 buckets for Penn.
The late scouting report of him was that he was a downtown shooter, and he shows you why. That was from long range.
And we got a foul inside.
Well, with the Memphis Tigers winning, it'll move the Tigers to their 5th straight win now, and a 28-3 season, and this will even their NCAA tournament record at 8-8.
Ricky McCoy back at the free throw line. They call him Rocky on the Memphis State team because of his resemblance to a boxer after a game is over. 6'2" senior, like so many of his teammates from the city of Memphis. This is a homegrown ball club all the way. McCoy gets a couple more, and it's 67-55 with only seconds remaining. He'll take the last shot. It is blocked at the buzzer. Blocked twice. So a 67-55 victory for Memphis State over the Penn Quakers. So that's the end of the game with the final score. The Memphis State Tigers 67 and the Penn Quakers 55. Gary Thompson and I
for his first.
Long outside shot by Masholi, who has come off the bench to score 3 buckets for Penn.
The late scouting report on him was that he was a downtown shooter, and he shows you why. That was from long range.
And we got a foul inside.
Well, with the Memphis Tigers winning, it'll move the Tigers to their 5th straight win now, and a 28-3 season, and this will even their NCAA tournament record at 8-8.
Ricky McCoy back at the free throw line. They call him Rocky on the Memphis State team because of his resemblance to a boxer after a game is over. 6'2" senior, like so many of his teammates from the city of Memphis. This is a homegrown ball club all the way. McCoy gets a couple more, and it's 67-55 with only seconds remaining. He'll take the last shot. It is blocked at the buzzer. Blocked twice. So a 67-55 victory for Memphis State over the Penn Quakers. So that's the end of the game with the final score. The Memphis State Tigers 67 and the Penn Quakers 55. Gary Thompson and I
for his first.